Hi, I'm Sarah. Welcome to the video. So today I wanted to do a bit of a grunge-inspired New Year's Eve look. It's gonna be hopefully glam without trying type of vibe. I have a couple dark, sort of muted, silvery, greenish, brown colors in mind. I have a vision, so let's get into it. For my base today, I'm gonna be going in with the Tower 28 SunnyDays Tinted SPF, and I have mine in the shade Larchmont. This gives a really dewy, really light coverage, and it's also a bit yellow for my skin tone, so I've been mixing it with this liquid foundation from Mineral Fusion, and I love this one because it's got the environmental work group Skin Deep seal of approval, which means it's got no harmful ingredients. This one is a bit drying for me on its own. It's also got a little bit fuller coverage, and it's a pinkier undertone. So I've just been mixing these up and creating my perfect shade and finish and using this as my sort of everyday foundation. I'm taking this Bare Minerals foundation brush. It's got short, dense bristles to blend it out. I've been trying to switch my entire collection over slowly to clean beauty products, and I don't mean clean in the sort of gimmicky way. I really do my research and I put every single ingredient in the environmental work group Skin Deep, which is a really, really great resource. I'll link it down below. They have a lot of products and they have tons of different ingredients, so even if they don't list a particular product that's brand new that you really want to see how it stacks up, you can input each individual ingredient and it'll tell you how it ranks on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the harmful ingredients, 1 or 0, which is the stamp of approval, meaning super safe and totally harmless. I think that's something that I am looking forward to making a very slow and purposeful transition in the new year and in years coming forward. I'm not going to be decluttering any makeup products that I enjoy and I use and I get use out of that aren't necessarily clean, but I won't be repurchasing them. I'm going to go in with a little bit of the Fenty Beauty Eye Primer, since we are going to be using quite a bit of eyeshadow for this look, and a little sort of goes a long way with this one. Okay, I'm going to quickly do my brows off camera. I'm going to be using a few different products from Sephora, Kosas, and ABH. Okay, now that my brows are done, I have a couple different eye palettes and eyeshadows here that I'm thinking of incorporating. I have this new Give palette. This is in the shade Simple Kind of Life. It's got a bunch of cool tone mattes. I also have my Natasha Denona Mini Retro palette, which I'm looking at these two shades right here, these sort of greenish silver shades. And then I also have my Moondust eyeshadow from Urban Decay in the shade Lithium. So you can see this sort of shade range, cool tone, olive undertone, taupey brown that I'm going for here. So I'm just going to start with my Give palette, and I'm just going to take some of this shade right here. It's called Covered in Shells, and I'm taking that on a large fluffy brush, and I'm just gonna sweep it all over the canvas here. I'm not trying to be perfect, I just want to get a wash of color. And that darker base shade is just gonna help me be a little bit less scared to use some of the deeper colors that we're gonna go in with later. So once that's blended out, I'm going to take this darker cool tone shade. This is the shade Obsessed, and I'm taking that with a denser, flatter, fluffy brush. And I'm going to knock off most of that color and slowly, with a very, very light touch, work that into the crease. All the way to the inner corner. I'm also going to sweep this out ever so slightly. I'm gonna leave that there for a second, and I'm gonna take a black pencil eyeliner. This is Koki, and I'm gonna roughly run this on my lash line. Okay, now that that's done, I'm gonna take a dense angled brush and I'm just gonna smudge it out. I'm gonna focus on flicking it out ever so slightly. Okay, now we've got a nice, thick, smudgy line. This Koki pencil is definitely not the best eyeliner to smudge with, but it's all I've got right now. It's not a product I use a ton of, so I don't have more than one in my collection at a time. Now, I'm gonna take the same angled brush and I'm gonna take this dark olive shade in the Natasha Denona Mini Retro Palette. I'm just gonna coat both sides and I'm gonna follow right on top of that black liner, softening it and its edges. Okay, now with this super fluffy, sort of flat angled Eco Tools brush, I'm gonna take the dark sparkly shade in the Natasha Denona palette. Just lightly pick some up on that brush. And I'm going to sweep this over the lid. This is a super pigmented color, so you can start lightly. You can always add more, but you don't want to start by picking up too much and packing on too much pigment. We're gonna build as we go. And I'm purposely getting this on top of the eyeliner so the whole thing is a little bit less perfected. I'm taking that up into the crease right below the brow bone. So now that we've got a wash of glimmer, I'm gonna take the Moondust eyeshadow in Lithium. And I'm gonna take this just on my finger and I'm just gonna pack it into the center of the lid for some added sparkle and dimension, and bringing it towards the inner corner as well. This is also gonna warm this up a little bit since this is more of a cocoa shade and what we've got going on is more of a olive toned silver. I'm gonna take a little bit more of this with a brush I like to use on my inner corner. Just to get right in there. Awesome, now with the eyeshadow mostly done, I'm gonna move on to the base. My Patrick Ta Cream and Powder Duo. This is in the shade She's Statuesque. And as you can see, I've been really loving this color. It's a perfect shade to bronze and sculpt at the same time. So I'm just gonna focus that on the cheekbones, by the hairline, temples, and the forehead. Now I'm just going to take a little bit of my Fenty Cream Contour in Amber just to add a little bit more sculpting. Especially since my hair is up today. I want to really create those shadows. By the way, I'm just using an angled kabuki brush, and this really hugs the cheekbones perfectly. Okay. Now, I'm finally going to take my Kosas concealer. This is in the shade 1.5, and I'm going to add this under the eyes and wherever I want a little more coverage. Carve out the cheekbones a bit. Down the bridge of the nose, forehead, chin. And lately, I have been loving using this e.l.f. contouring brush. It's very flat. and very dense with very short bristles. And I can see how it would be perfect for contouring, but I love it lately for concealer because it's so flat on one side, so thin, you can get right into the inner corner with it, which is why it's great. This brush can go anywhere a beauty blender can go. Now I'm gonna take my Pat McGrath Labs Under Eye Blurring Setting Powder, and I'm gonna take this cute little velvet powder puff. The setting powder, unfortunately, tragically fell yesterday, so I'm working with the Sad Remains. So I did place a bit of a last minute order from Sephora just to get some replacements and some basics and backups, and this is one of them. So I'm just gonna set under the eyes and a few other places I want to cut shine. All right. Okay, now that we have concealed and set the under eyes, we can finish the eyeshadow. So I'll bring you guys back in. Okay, so I'm gonna go back in with this dark olive shade from Natasha Denona with a bit of a fluffy under eye brush. Just gonna pick up a little, and I'm gonna put this all over the under eye. I'm not worried about this look becoming a little bit more grungy. I'm just gonna sweep it under the entire lower lash line. Now I'm gonna take a sharper, if you will, brush into the dark sparkle shade in the same palette and sweep this under the entire under eye as well. I'm just gonna clean things up a tad. Okay. Now I'm going to give my lashes a good squeeze, and I'm going to be applying my Kosas Big Clean Mascara. I recently purchased this mascara. I was trying to find a replacement that could give me the same feel as the Bite Upswing, and so far I'm liking it a lot. It's got that really inky, really sort of clumpy, but not. It's sort of a dry formula, which I like, I prefer, so it doesn't make a huge mess like the Bite Beauty did. If you were a fan of the Bite mascara, the Milk Makeup mascara, the first one they put out in the silver tube, that's also a really good one. And even though this is a bit of a smokier, darker look, I don't want to apply lashes because I'm liking this sort of slept-in, messy, glam, short, stubby look that the mascara is giving. I think the Kokie eyeliner was a big fail because it got a little clumped my eyelashes and now they are struggling to accept mascara. Ugh, how come nobody told me I forgot to blend out my concealer on my nose? Swiping away the bit of fallout, and this is what we're working with now. We're sufficiently spidery, and I'm loving how the eyes turned out. They feel grunge, they feel New Year's Eve, they feel I just swiped it on and didn't even look in the mirror, and I'm absolutely loving that vibe at the moment. So for blush, I am taking my Cover FX Warm Honey Duo, and I'm just gonna take the shimmer shade here. And I'm taking it with this really beautiful sparse blush brush from Morphe X Ariel. Great brush collection, really loving the face brushes from that collection. It's not gonna be a very blush-centric look, but I just want to warm up what we've got going on just a tad, and I love that this also has a bit of a sheen to it. And this brush is fantastic because you can't apply too much with it. Okay, now with the look almost done, I'm gonna take my Makeup Artist pencil in the color Anywhere Caffeine. I'm gonna line my lips with it. Blurring out that line. Okay, I had to go run and get my lip products because I had forgotten them. And while I was there, I noticed my other Urban Decay Moondust eyeshadow in the shade Space Cowboy. And I was looking at the look and I felt like it needed a little bit of brightness on the brow bone and a little bit of a pop in the inner corner. So I just took my pinky and dusted it on the brow bone, the inner corner, and just out on the edges a little bit, just to sort of diffuse the whole thing and mesh it together with the other shimmer colors we have going on the eyes. So now that I have a blurred out lip line, I'm gonna take a NARS Soft Matte Tinted Lip Balm in the shade Intimate. and I'm just gonna dab it. And finally, I'm gonna take my Haus Labs lip oil. I just have the clear shade. And I love this big doe-foot applicator. Hugs the lips so beautifully. This is a really lightweight hydrating product. It does taste a little funny. So for that reason, I don't always reach for it, but sometimes it's just the perfect thing. And with that, I'm just going to see what we've got going on. I think we are done. I'm going to take my MAC Fix Plus Stay Over setting spray. I've been loving this lately. I'm just gonna spray the whole thing. Setting fan. I know this thing is unnecessary, but I am obsessed with it. It's so fun and luxurious. I love it. Okay, and with that, the makeup look is done. I'm loving how this makeup look turned out. I think it's so blown out and diffused and edgy and sparkly and dark and sultry, and it's so New Year's Eve to me. I hope you enjoyed this New Year's Eve inspired grungy glimmery makeup look as much as I did. That is all I have for you today, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.